Oh, I tell you what, it's a bit early in the day for all this. It's practically morning. Why? Whose idea was it to release videos at this time of day? Let me know what you think of the new start time. Quite frankly, I should still be in bed. It's Saturday. Hello and welcome to Season 2, Part 3 of my Everton Save. I'm Kev, and coming up on today's episode, we're away against Derby in the Premier League and also away against Mechelen in the Europa League. Since you were last with me, we're just brilliant. I mean, talk about contrast between this and the Gainsborough non-league to legend stuff that's been going on at the moment. And it is, I feel like there's so many ups and downs in the roller coaster of Football Manager playing. I very rarely play two saves at the same time, but I'll sit down in an evening, I'll have an hour of Gainsborough, and I'm so miserable now. Can't even win a game. Oh, I know how to cheer myself up. Let's go and smash teams playing as Everton because it's ridiculous. Look at all that green. The Premier League is looking delicious. I know it's early days, but we've got a game in hand over Arsenal and Chelsea and we're still in a Champions League spot. Imagine if we could finish in the Champions League. That would be utterly insane. Things are going well in the Europa League as well. The one cloud on the horizon is that we've picked up a lot of injuries just over the course of the international break we've just been on. So Bruno Fernandes, he's going to be out for only a couple of weeks. Gajic, I think that's how you'll tell me to pronounce it. He's going to be out for a couple of days. The artist formerly known as Juan Pai, who I'm told it's 1p, or Penny. Let's see what I did there. So Penny's going to be out for a couple of weeks, and star man of the season so far, Enner Valencia, also out for a week or two. So they're not long-term injuries, they're just a bit disruptive going into today's game against Derby. So it's a bit of a mix and match, not really tried these combinations before. It might work, it might not. But we've got Matthew Ryan in goal, a back four of Augustinson, Rodrigo, someone's told me how to say this as well, and I still don't know. KO, is that how you say it? Maybe? Let me know down in the comments. Alongside Benassia with Omar as right back. In midfield, we've got Hughes, Hendricks and Asensio. With Barkley in behind Lukaku and Traore. Luke de Jong, probably justified in feeling a bit put out that he's now fourth choice striker at Everton. But when you're getting a goal return like that from Traore, and Lukaku's on a long-term deal, and Valencia's in the form that he's in, it's going to take De Jong something special to get him back in the team. He's made one substitute appearance so far and scored a goal. You saw him do it, I believe, in the last episode, but he's not had a look in since then. Valencia's injured, but as previously discussed, Mr. Touchline interviewer, Luke de Jong can't even get in this team, and he scored 20 goals last year, so we're not that concerned that one player has picked up a bit of a knock, because we've got goals throughout this team. I don't really know how we've managed to sort of flukily assemble such a good-looking squad, but we have, and it's awesome. I know we're only 7 games in, and there's every chance that the wheels will fall off yet. Remember, this is an Everton team that got relegated 2 years ago, not by any means the same side. I think we've only got Lukaku and Barkley, who are survivors from that team of 2 years ago. Massive turnover of player. But there's the core of the team that was so good in the Championship last year, that won the FA Cup last year, and somehow, despite me just spraying money around at anybody who had come to the club, we've stumbled across the right players to improve the squad in the right places. So, I don't know, I'm feeling quietly confident. You wouldn't necessarily think it was quiet from the way I'm going on about it, but you've got to understand, in my other videos, in Non-League to Legend, I've been miserable, Kev, for the last few days, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to go in there and be happy, excited, Kev, because this save is going very well. And if you only watch the other one, well, poor old those people, and there's about 1,000 people who don't watch this one but do watch that one. They're not getting this. This is you and me. We're enjoying the good times together while they're dwelling in my misery. Right, Omar crosses into Traore, and Bertrand Traore keeps his excellent goal scoring run going. I don't understand how he is such a freak of nature. I mean, you know, he is a goal-scoring machine. I know we spent a lot of money on him, based partly on the scout reports and partly because I've seen him do this in Football Manager before. It might have been 2 years ago, because I don't think he did it for me last year. But for someone who in real life, I'm vaguely aware that he exists, but I don't think I've ever seen him play. And the people in the comments have said he's really not all that in real life. Whoever the Chelsea scout is for Football Manager has a bit of a soft spot for Traore, and he's just got the right stats in the right places, and he's a monster. And so, yeah, he keeps on scoring, and we're certainly not going to complain about that. Ryan's just made a good save to keep us in this. Well, keep us in it. We're 1-0 up. And another good save. Was that off the crossbar? No, it is a save. I mean, really, we should be more than 1 goal ahead, and it is a little bit of a worry that we're not asserting our dominance properly, because if we look at those stats, we have been absolutely all over Derby in this game, and probably should be a little concerned that we're only 1-0 up. We've had 20 shots, but only 7 have been on target. Through all this possession and all these shots, we've only created 1 clear-cut chance. And actually, Derby have had the better of the chances from not really having much of the ball or much attacking play. So I'm getting excited, but if we were playing against a good team, sorry Derby fans, but if we were playing against someone who was any good, we wouldn't be winning today. Right, let's bring De Jong on, and we'll stick him up to his usual poacher position. Traore can go back to being the complete forward, and we're going to... We haven't got anyone to... In fact, no, we'll bring Hernandez on. I think this is his first appearance of the season, and we will stick Asensio up there behind the front two, stick Hughes back over to roaming playmaker, where he likes so much, and Hernandez can just drop back in to the box-to-box midfield position. He did to such a plum throughout our glorious season in the Championship. I don't know if he's still got the legs to do it, but I guess this is how we find out. I've just realised Will Hughes used to play for Derby, didn't he? So he's probably due a goal. There you go. He's picked the ball up quite deep. Found Traore, who finds De Jong out to Augustinsson. Luke De Jong has now been on the pitch 4 minutes. He's played 14 minutes of football for Everton this season. That's the second goal he scored in those 14 minutes. Sooner or later, he's probably going to have to start a football match. But you know what? Oh, I mean, it's just a good header. He's a proper striker, isn't he? I'm actually starting to think sooner or later we're going to have to drop Lukaku. Which, bearing in mind how worried I've been throughout this save that he might leave, it seems mad that he might get dropped. But I think, I'm not certain of it, but I think I might think that he's not one of the best 2 strikers we've got at the moment. Certainly not on form. Right, we're going to bring on Britt Assombalonga, and we're going to see what Traore looks like as the trequartista. There you go. Why not? Let's see what else he can do. Mainly because I love Britt Assombalonga and I want him to score in the Premier League because he's a real-life hero of mine. So hopefully we want a goal for Will Hughes and one for Assombalonga. Traore's in again. I mean, he can play anywhere. The man's ridiculous. He's this version of Football Manager's Thierry Ambrose. And I love Thierry Ambrose. But Traore, I mean, really, Traore, I had him the year before. He was the original Thierry Ambrose. Ambrose took over for a year, but I know what side my bread's buttered. We're back firmly in the Traore camp for FM17, and he might nab another goal here. No time, though. But you know what? 2-0 away from home. We're up to second in the league. We're only 4 points behind Man City. This is ridiculous. Oh, I'm having so much fun. Right, we get to go and play in the Europa League now. Well, I had hoped to rotate the team for the Mechelen game, but looking at this, it's pretty hard to do when all of your fringe players are either not registered or injured or Tom Cleverley. I mean, what do you do with that? So we've rotated where we can, which is in goal. So Thomas Diddlon. I think you're seeing him play for the first time. I don't know if he's appeared on video before. He's had a couple of games. I think he's played both of the previous games in the Europa League, actually. So he might be our European goalkeeper because we're big time now. And we don't even take Matthew Ryan with us when we travel into Europe. He just stays at home, probably watching these videos, chuckling along to himself at the good times he's having watching Everton conquer all. But other than that, it's an unchanged team. I've swapped Traore and Lukaku over just because Traore prefers to be a complete striker rather than a poacher. And don't tell Romelu if he's listening, I think Traore's better than him, so he can play where he wants. And Lukaku can fit in wherever he can fit in, and he can either like it or get out of Luke de Jong's way. We're giving some of the youngsters squad numbers. I have no idea who they are, but we had to fill a bench, and I wanted to rotate somehow, so that seemed a way to do it. We're going to, yeah. we're good. There you go. That's what we want to say. Yeah, rotation. We've rotated one player, for goodness sake. Yeah, I only care what we've got. I don't want to read all this. This is longer than a press conference. There's a long way to go. Yeah, we've done well. I mean, don't make me that. Don't ask 4 questions. Did you not get a press pass? How did you get at the touchline if you weren't in the press conference? Could you not have asked then? Don't we have to do a press conference for this European nonsense? I mean, seriously, that was just rude. Right. They've got a number 99 up front. It's the number I can't say. Which is, I mean, that's why I fell out with Donnarumma when I was at Milan back in FM16. He was great for me at Man City. He had a squad number I couldn't say at Milan, so that's why I didn't like him there. We're on the attack here. Ross Barkley's just missed. Ross Barkley hasn't really done anything special yet. Bearing in mind, I don't know if I've mentioned, he was in the European Championships team of the tournament. But he's come back, and he's not tearing the Premier League apart yet. Tell you who is, though. Bertrand Traoré has scored once again. Top scorer this season, maybe? He's closing in on Valencia already. And nobody really thought Valencia was going to play every game, did they? I mean, the thought process for me now, because De Jong is scoring every time he comes on the pitch. Valencia was scoring for fun before he got injured and is nearly fit again. Traore's scoring for fun now. We've got Lukaku on quite an expensive contract for 3 years. Do we sell him? Do we take the money and run? I mean, because if we don't sell him in this upcoming transfer window, do we risk his value falling? Because I'm not completely certain that we're going to play him regularly if the other 3 carry on the way they are. So, I mean, we've had offers of sort of £30 million for him before. We could do a lot with £30 million. I've seen him go for more than that in Football Manager in the past as well. Ross Barkley's listening to the commentary clearly on his iPod, and he's now nabbed himself a goal. Was that his first goal of the season? I didn't read the little message, but Traoré instrumental in it again. Asensio enjoying a little bit of a run in the team, plays a lovely little through ball, and Barkley scores from an incredibly tight angle, saying, "Boss, that's why I was in the team of the tournament. I can do stuff like that. Like to see you try that." But back to Lukaku, I wonder, do we need to take the captaincy off him? Remove some of the pressure of being captain? Or is that just a way of saying him, yeah, you're not first choice anymore? Oh, Will Hughes has just scored an absolute beauty. That's a goal and a half. Let's have a look at this in the beautiful behind goal 3D. So Omar plays it to Lukaku, slots it across to Will Hughes, who's just turned around. I mean, that's his weak foot. It actually didn't look as special on the replay because it was kind of at the goalkeeper and low. I had visions of it screaming into the top corner, first touch on his left foot. But either way, it's a tidy little finish. I think we've just won a penalty as well. And Lukaku will hopefully tuck it away. Here he comes, and it's 4-0 before half-time. Lukaku with his 5th goal of the season. I think 2 of those 5 have come from penalties, though. It looks like he's dropped the clapping method. In fact, their goalkeeper was clapping as he was running up to take the penalty. So I think as long as somebody's clapping, he's guaranteed to score the penalty. That seems to be the rule. He obviously spotted the keeper was clapping, didn't need to do it himself. Oh, now he's hit the post as well. Perhaps he's decided to start playing for his place in the team a little bit, because I don't know. I'd be interested in your thoughts down in the comments about the Lukaku situation. And we've sort of already started a bit of a discussion down in the comments of the last video in this series. But what are your thoughts? Do we look to sell him? Do we take the captaincy off him? I mean, we've got 4 really good strikers at the club now. Do we just find a way to play them all together? But then we've got all these midfield players as well. I'm only semi-serious when I say that, but if anyone has got good ideas for how to play all 4 of them together and get the best out of all 4 of them, I'm interested. Let me know down in the comments, because that would be awesome. That was really poor defending and poor positioning from Diddlon there in goal, because, I don't know, we've left a massive gap in this area here. How is he so unmarked? And how is our keeper not... I mean, I know there's narrowing down the angles, but there's narrowing down the angles, and then there's what he just did, which was stand the wrong side of the post and not notice that the ball had been squared to an unmarked man. Really should have been aware that the man was there, and if he's noticed that he's there and not getting marked, he should at the very least be prepared for what was surely always going to happen. Right, let's take Traoré off, bring De Jong on. Swap these two over. There you go. That's our strike partnership from last year that was so very, very good. And I guess we can try some of these youngsters out. What positions do they play? Right, Nathan Holland is a midfield player. Don't want to take Barkley off yet. Do we take... Who's Sam Byrne? Let's bring... Oh, goodness me. Sam Byrne doesn't want to be a complete forward then, but there you go. He can... De Jong can play as complete forward. Sam Byrne, whoever you are, you get 20 minutes playing in the Europa League. There you go. Presumably he was at the club last year and I never noticed him. So there you go. He gets his opportunity now. Oh, Traore was trying to have one last bite at goal before drifting off. We haven't reassigned the captaincy to someone, so where does it... Oh, it goes to Luke de Jong. I don't like having a striker as a captain. I might have to automatically set it as one of our players further back in the team. But then I guess there's a very strong argument that our 4 best players are all strikers. So, you know, have your best players as your captain, maybe. Is this a similar sort of mistake from the keeper here? Because, again, the ball's squared, and this time he's standing on the post. His positioning leaves a little to be desired, I think. I'm glad he's only our backup keeper. We don't get this kind of nonsense with Ryan. Right, let's take Hendricks off as well. Nathan Holland can come on for him, and we'll just drop Ross Barkley back into the... Oh, goodness me, he doesn't want to play there, does he? Well, then, if you can't play in any of these positions, what's your name? Nathan. You're not ever going to get in the team. So you're going to have to sort something out and decide which one of our positions that we use you're going to play in. For today, you're going to be a trequartista and you're going to like it. Unless we concede another goal, in which case I might just stick him up front, drop de Jong back and try and hold on with at least a couple of players who look like they know what they're doing. I thought we were going to... De Jong really should have been in there. He wasn't really aware to what was going on around him. Benatia comes across well to cover. And hopefully we're just winding down the clock here. Holland finds de Jong. There's room out on the left-hand side if we can get it to Augustinsson. We do. And Luke de Jong, what's he up to now? Maybe 40 minutes of football and 3 goals. Again, let me know down in the comments, when does Luke de Jong start starting some football matches for us? Because he's too good not to be playing every week, isn't he? Is it De Jong and Traore with a return into fitness Valencia coming on as an impact sub? Or is that mental when we've got Lukaku at the club? I need to know. You need to let me know what to do, folks, because you know me, I haven't got a clue. So there you go. All in all, a rather successful episode. I imagine we'll be back again for maybe there's closing off the Europa League games, plus there's some interesting looking league games. In fact, that could even be a 4-game double episode dealy. Man United, a Europa League game, then Chelsea and Liverpool. Hopefully that will see us securing our spot in the next round of the Europa League. And those 3 Premier League games are going to be significant if we are serious about a Champions League spot. If you've enjoyed that, make sure you pop a like on there for me. Subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more. And thank you very much for watching.